Among the world's 5 most mesmerizing trails is this walking trail in Sri Lanka, the Pico Trail in Hantana Kandy, which stretches 185 miles through picturesque tea country. Part of the trail were originally used for tea transportation by horses, and there's the beauty of amazing scenery that's well worth the hike. So, take a hike. A big thank you to the partners on our show who are truly beyond compare. Skills for Inclusive Growth and Australian Aid, Srilanka Life, CDB and the Morning Newspaper. You are up there among the best. If you like Kaleiedoscope, subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn.
Did you know you can open a digital fixed deposit with just 5,000 rupees? Open a CDB iDeposit digital fixed deposit today. CDB, your friend.
In a quick look at the week that was on CDB Snapshot, Sri Lanka's inflation gallops to 73.7% in September year on year, while food inflation peaks at 86%. Sri Lanka's export earnings reached $10 billion in the first 9 months of 2022, and September is the 5th consecutive month to record $1 billion in exports. And disturbing news from Sri Lanka's IT sector, many Sri Lankan IT companies are looking to relocate to Dubai and Indonesia given the tax-free status these countries offer. First responders are being helped by rats carrying high-tech backpacks to find survivors in disaster zones. And just in time for Halloween is this Lithuanian photographer's terrifying photo of what an ant looks like in close-up.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.
So here we are on our Srilanka Life News Capsule. The so-called 22nd Amendment, which is now in fact the 21st Amendment, was passed in Parliament recently, but the amendment itself seems shrouded in shades of grey. Today on the Pethiagoda pages, scientist, conservationist, taxonomist and public policy advocate Rohan Pethiagoda takes us through a dummy's guide to 21st Amendment. Rohan, so walk me through this. What exactly are the implications of the 21st Amendment?
Thing I want to qualify here is that I'm going to go by the version of this amendment that's on the Parliament website. Basically, what the amendment does, it re-establishes the Constitutional Council, which will now have 10 members, 7 of whom will be politicians, but in practice dominated by the government. So the opposition and 3 civil society members will have a say, but even those civil society members are chosen in a way that means that the government will have the final say. So it'll be the Constitutional Council that now recommends to the president the names for the chairpersons, for example, of the Elections Commission, the Public Service Commission, the Police Commission, the Bribery Commission, and so on. The better provision in this is that the president can't appoint justices to the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal and so on without the consent of the Constitutional Council. That's, I think, a more valuable safeguard. The thing that I think most people would notice is that members of parliament can no longer be dual citizens. This again is, in my opinion, window dressing, because when you do catch a dual citizen or an alleged dual citizen like Mrs. Diana Gamage, the case goes to court and it sits in court probably for the lifetime of the parliament before the MP can actually be thrown out if it's relevant to throw them out.
Are we any closer to abolishing the executive presidency?
That's not even dreamt about at this stage. I don't think Ranil Wickremesinghe will let go of the executive presidency. He'd disappear if he did that. He would be a political irrelevance. The next government, hopefully, I would suspect, would rally around a non-controversial common candidate who will pledge within 6 months or so to abolish the executive presidency, resign and go home.
And in a look at our markets. At the Colombo Stock Exchange, the all share price index dipped midweek but then regained its losses at the end of the week. WTI oil settled at 87.5 US dollars per barrel, even as the World Bank predicted energy prices declining by 11% in 2023. Gold prices remained flat at 1,666 US dollars per ounce. Coca-Cola Sri Lanka recently broke new ground by becoming the first country in India and Southwest Asia to launch the large returnable glass bottle, also called the Big Buddy Pack. And in its 61-year history in Sri Lanka, Coca-Cola has been working steadily to reduce its carbon footprint, recognizing that its industry is energy and water intensive. Managing Director of Coca-Cola Sri Lanka, Pankaj Singha, joined me in the studio for a brief chat. Coke launching the large returnable glass bottle is certainly groundbreaking in Sri Lanka, but in your presence here in Sri Lanka, there's much more that has been happening from the sustainability angle and reducing your carbon footprint. Can you tell me a little bit about what Coke has been doing in that space?
Coca-Cola has been in Sri Lanka for 61 years, and in these 61 years we have taken some very strong measures towards a sustainable future, sustainable Sri Lanka. So the first one which I would like to talk about that is that we have the largest solar rooftop project anywhere in Sri Lanka at our Biagamak facility. It produces almost 1.95 megawatts of power. The second one will be our commitment towards water neutrality and supporting sustainable agriculture. For every liter of beverage which we make or every liter of water which we use, we return back more than 203% to the mother nature, and that's all in Sri Lanka. And the last one will be working towards sustainable packaging. So the Big Buddy launch which you see is one such initiative where we have our endeavor is to increase refillable PET refillable packs. And the last one is our commitment towards the world without waste. We remain committed to pick up and recycle every single bottle which we produce in Sri Lanka by the year 2030.
What started out as a simple request to ensure honesty in classes became a bizarre new way for students to put their creativity to the test, as the students of a college in the Philippines proudly donned their self-made anti-cheating hats that have now taken the internet by storm. Up next is S4IG Let's Talk with Booker Prize winner Shehan Karunatilaka.
You are wearing a safari jacket and faded jeans and cannot remember how you got here. You wear one shoe and have 3 chains and a camera around your neck. The camera is your trusty Nikon 3 ST, but the lens is smashed and the casing is cracked. You look through the viewfinder and all you see is mud.
The winner of the 2022 Booker Prize is The 7 Moons of Mali Almeida.
Lauded by the judges for its audacity and ambition and described as a roller coaster journey through life and death, the book is a searing satire amidst the chaos of the Sri Lankan civil war. We got a quick take from Shehan on last week's show on the immediate aftermath of the announcement. And now we chat with him a little leisurely on what he's been doing and his speech as well as his plans. He joins us from London today. Once again, congratulations, Shehan. What do you remember most when your name was announced?
All through the week, we've been doing events with the shortlist, and I got to meet, Percival, Noah Violet. I got to meet all of them, and it was a stressful week anyway. We went to Bath, Cheltenham, in London, bookshops, doing talks, and so Booker night, it was like, actually today is not stressful. You just need to dress up in a suit and go there and eat and drink and talk. It'll only be stressful if your name is read out.
And you met the Queen Consort.
I met the Queen Consort. Said hi to Dua Lipa. It was in the Roundhouse in Camden, which I remember I used to go as a young man 20 years ago and watch rock bands play. Kasabian played there, a few other bands, so it was a nice atmosphere. It wasn't this stiff kind of you would picture Booker. I think Booker has been stiff and very black tie kind of event. they're loosening it up. Hence, they're inviting pop stars and so on. So yeah, I was enjoying the night, and then when they were reading it out, yeah, I got an inkling because they said it's about life and death and the afterlife. But then I thought it could be also Percival Everett's The Trees, which is another tremendous book. I'm in the middle of reading that, and it was. But then they said life, death, the afterlife, and violence and tenderness. So I think at that moment, then I was like, oh, I won't say the word, but oh shoot, I'm going to have to go up on that stage and make a speech. That was my then the adrenaline kicks in, and then you're suddenly, and I really wanted to speak in Sinhala and Tamil. That was very important to me. Just that we've spoken about this before. My wider wish is that Sinhala, Tamil, and English literature in Sri Lanka forms a national. That there's more work in translation, because they work in silos at the moment. It always makes me sad that we're not aware of Sinhala writers. They are perhaps not aware of our work, and so it was important that this is not a victory just for Colombo middle class English speaking Kolpeti people. This is a victory for storytellers in Sri Lanka. They were trying to cut me off. They said 1 minute. I was like, come on, 1 minute after 7 years of writing this thing, give me at least 3. And I don't know how long I took, but I was glad I was able to finally say something in Sinhala. And, I don't speak Tamil. I'm taking lessons now. So that made me happy.
With much controversy surrounding that speech, was it a prepared speech?
You don't want to, on that kind of stage, and especially if you have too much wine, you don't want to go there and burst into tears or forget to thank people. Because there were specific people I really wanted to thank, it's been a long journey, and I appreciate everyone who has been on my side, in my corner, helping me. So that was important to me, that I read out. So I knew, look, in the blur of the moment, I don't trust myself. So yeah, I just had a few pointers, but you have it in your pocket and you keep it there and you forget about it. And if you don't win, I guess you destroy it.
I know it's a little early, but are we looking at a film maybe?
There's been talk of a Chinaman film for many years, and it even got optioned by Endemol for 2 years, but nothing. So I'm wary about films. Sometimes take a long time. There has been interest. I mean, look, this Booker thing, I'm only just grappling with how big it is. It's number 4 on Amazon in the whole world. That's pretty amazing. I don't think I even made the top 500 ever, but so this is getting big, and there is some film interest, but let's see how it turns out.
So you've written rock songs, screenplays, travel stories, sports stories, children's books, played guitar in a band, and you were in advertising. Pretty colorful. What's next for you?
I've got another book to write. I got a couple more kids' books to write. I'm working on a documentary screenplay. Then you get this question also, what are you going to do with the money and all that stuff? I'm not going to buy a big car and, fancy clothes. I spend my money on guitars and books and, good food and good drink. And the rest I spend on my kids. But I'd like to, when the dust has settled, just go back and start writing again and reading and writing and playing, trying to play bass, trying to play guitar. That's what I'll do. I don't think the life is going to change. Why should it?
Winner of the Booker Prize 2022, Shehan Karunatilaka, joining Kaleiedoscope from London this week. She sits on a stool in her village of Dimulapatana and creates the most amazing jewellery. Yazini Ravichandrakumar lovingly handcrafts terracotta into things of beauty.
I am from Dimulapatana. I am 21st. I am making terracotta jewellery. I have been doing this business last 2 years. My parents have been very helpful to me. I really want to start the own business. That's why I start the terracotta jewellery business. I get the product on Sri Lanka. My future plans start a small boutique.
So until next Friday, stay cool, stay relaxed, and enjoy what life has to give.